Welcome to this demo. So today we'll be demoing this project budget Excel worksheet that you can really use any way you like. But as a starting point, we have three types of fixed costs, if you like, if you want to use them, and then resourcing / time and material types of costs. All this will be feeding into a budget, and when you input actuals, you will be able to see totals, charts, and a very detailed analysis of where you're at. I'm just going to walk you through it tab by tab, so it's not going to take too long. First, I have show, arrows, help, yes, no. So just as there's a lot of tabs, it could be a bit confusing to know where you need to input data. So here I have some, if you put yes here, that will show you arrows where you need to input data. Obviously, when there's an arrow on the row here, you need to input data in a full row. Here, this is on the left-hand side, the rate and the like. So, and if you put back to no, you'll notice that those arrows have disappeared. So you might want to get rid of them after a while. Also on a very high level, so you can see that I've put in green 3 tabs, and those are the only tabs where you need to input data. And the one in blue, you do not need to input any data here. It's all about totals, data, graph, charts, and the likes. So the second, there's only 2 components in the settings, actually. The second one is starting date. So this is a weekly budget. It's not because it's weekly that you cannot just play around with periods and have things more on a monthly basis. But to start with, it's weekly. So this is giving you the starting point, which here, the 5th of May. And from that, everything moves by 1 week. So if instead you start the 1st of June, for instance, you'll notice that everything moves starts from the 1st of June here. Okay, so this is for a quick introduction. Now let's go into how to create a budget and track actuals with this tool. And before going into take them one by one here, just going to jump to the budget one just to show you on high level what we have. What we're dealing with is 3 types of fixed cost budget. Like here, for instance, I have decided to go with hardware, marketing, and the other one miscellaneous, and you can put anything you like. If you don't have that many subtypes, you can just put nothing. Or if you don't have any, actually, I'm just going to put back the arrows here. If you don't have any just you don't want to use the subtypes, just put general budget here, and it will follow along. And that's actually something that I type. You could type anything here, but the typing of those components here will follow you all the way through. So this is where you get things started. And what else to say? So this is the fixed cost. This is, you know how much it's going to cost, and hopefully you know when this is going to happen. So you would define your cost, your budget type here, or your cost type here, and then you at best possible, you put when you think that this will happen. So if you don't know, once again, you can just put something right bang in the middle here, and then you can just become more precise as you progress. So this is things that you know that you're going to have to pay. You know the amount, hardware to buy, marketing costs that have been prepackaged, and the like. So this is where you would put everything here. And notice that there is no arrow here. So I mean the totals obviously are calculated by themselves. And here's the budget is showing on top based on all these that you put here. Now there is something here, it's resourcing, and resourcing goes below important from resourcing costs. So this is the other type of resourcing, and I'm just going to put here, this is the other type of budget. Resourcing, which is a time and material, if you like, budget, is anything that is based on the rate and you are not absolutely sure how much it's going to cost you. It's a piece of string in a way that hopefully you can get under control. But it can be a consultant, it can be office rental, it can be artificial intelligence booking of the cloud for, let's say, 3 days, and then you realize you don't need that many, or that you need more. So this is anything, another way to look at it is anything that is based on the rate. Like here, for instance, I have all those resources. And here you have consultant, here you have office rental, and then you put the hourly rate here. So if you work on the daily rate, you have to play around with this, but that's not a big challenge. I'm sure you can do it. Okay, so here the arrow show me, yes, I need to put in resource, I need to put an hourly rate, and here the arrows, no, no arrow here pointing towards this. So that means this is done automatically, and this is where you put your weekly rate in a way. So these guys, so for instance, so this is just to show you that if you don't know the team, if you don't know, you can put either resource 1, resource 2, resource 3, or you can just put a bulk input and you just put an average rate, and here you would just put big numbers for you. The other thing is a question I'm often being asked on rosters and the likes, how do we do for overtime? So because there's 2 types of rates, and here, for instance, Ben Cooper, I have it in normal rate, and I've created another line for overtime. So this way you can split it through. And why is rows in pink? That's because it's a double. So the systems knows, for instance, if I pull Paul chain here, the system knows when you make a mistake and you duplicate a resource. So, okay, so you have your hours here, and you have your hourly rate, and on the budget here, it comes back here as a cost. And here what I'm saying is cost below importing from resourcing costs, tab I should say, maybe I'll just put tab to be clear, and in the resourcing cost tab is here, and this is where everything is calculated. So you have the same name here, there's no arrow, so don't input anything. And then this is giving you the cost. So here you can see that, you can get the cost here, the total here as well. Okay, so we're progressing. We have done those 3. The resourcing cost has been brought back through the resource allocation, and then from the resource cost tab here, where the calculation has been made. So we are ready to get started. So we have a budget here of 448,000 roughly. So here, next, you go under actuals. I mean, at the beginning of the project, obviously, you can go directly to totals, but this is how the actuals are being input. So no arrows here, so that means we've already defined this. There's only arrows here. And I put that in gray, so there's no confusion between the coloring here. And this is where you input your final data. So here it will never be as precise as this, but this is just a theoretical model, obviously. Okay, so you just have a look here. You just input your week by week, your total cost, and here the same. So here, for the resourcing, which is a time and material, what I'm doing is that obviously I'm not putting the hours that they have input. So this is this will be done through your own HR system, I assume. I'm putting here the real cost, because we often get caught with this. Someone gets a rate increase, and this is a good way for you also to track that the consultancy, willingly or not, are not trying to change rates or change things without telling you. So you can track it here. So this is based on the invoice that you receive, or based, if it's internal resources, based on what HR will give you as well. So here you just put the cost, the dollar value if you're in the States, or pesetas, and or the euro if you are in Spain, and the like. So this is where you put all your actuals all on one tab. And here you can notice the total is 460,000 here, and the budget was 448. So we are above. Okay, so totals. So from here we're getting into, just go back here. From here we're getting into the blue. So we have nothing to input anymore. Tracking. So we track group by group where we are going. Now the first one we track is the totals. So as mentioned, so there's a budget here, there's an actual here, and the variance here. So we are in red already. I say already, but it looks like we're already in a project, been in a project for quite a while. So let me walk you through those lines here. So this is the weekly budget here. So we have the budget here. This is a weekly budget that we had allocated, and this is the running. So same for here, the weekly actuals and cumulative actuals, and here the weekly variance and the running variance. I got it, Ben. You don't have to repeat it 10 times, but this way it's clear. Okay, totals. And then we go into details here. Okay, hardware. You can tell, and this is what I was saying in the opening of this, is you need to be able to demonstrate when there's a problem with your budget, where is it? Where it is. Like here, for instance, you're running out of luck because those 3 are bad. hardware is behind, marketing is behind, variance is, miscellaneous is behind, but the resourcing is ahead. Now, could it be related? Maybe. So we have, you've used less resources, but you still had some fixed costs that happened. So in other words, all the fixed cost is there. So maybe you have all the hardware, all the marketing, so you just need to finish a bit of resourcing here, and hopefully you can still be ahead. So this is it. So this is the totals if you want to know where the problem happened and the like. So those are calculations that I've left here. They are for the charts. I don't think you'll find that useful, but I thought I'll leave them here just in case. Next, graphs. Actually, I don't want to go into graph yet. I want to go into the detail variance here, because this way I think it's a better transition. So we want the totals here. We'll give you the big totals. But here, if you want to be more granular even, you can go here. And here that gives you the variance. Let's say budget item by budget item. Let's say you have 10 types of hardware that you wanted to purchase, and you can tell which one is causing you to come to grief. You can say, well, the type 2 here, what is going on here? So maybe there was a shift, maybe there was an input error or something. So this is what I was saying. You can really drill down and find out where was the problem here. And for resourcing, the same. It looks like everything is ahead here, but now you're starting to have some guys who just keep working, maybe when I were not planned to keep working, like Ben Cooper, Mark Thomas, and the likes. And your fees rental, maybe you were planning for this project to stop earlier, and it's still going on here. What is going on? So this is very detailed. So I think you would go this after you go to the totals. You would go and you notice some problems here. For instance, let's say in a hardware, you notice some problems here, and you would go there, detailed, and you go in hardware, and here you will try to understand based on this. Okay. So let me go back then to the sequence. So we've just seen the totals. Now for the graphs or the charts, however you want to call it. So there is a summary at the top here. The budget, the actuals, the variance, and the today, just today's date. So here, it might not be as clear. For instance, if I just go here and I remove some actuals here. Here you can see the difference here. So this is actually the budget in white here. All that is white is a budget, and in blue is the actuals. So you can see that here at the beginning you were doing okay, and then out of the sudden you had a big jump in actuals, and it's starting to it stayed on top, and the budget you had couldn't work hard enough to make up for the loss. So the actuals here, it just keeps going and going up with the budget. So here you see the same. So the white is a budget as shown here. So here you see at the beginning you were ahead with budget, and after you had the actuals, and then you stopped working, so everything went flat, and you can see it here, everything went flat. There was a big gap here, and then you can see you didn't have any budget plan from here for here, but the actuals kept going. So this is a quick way to have a look at this. And then you go into the more detail. So this is more or less another view on this one, but with the budget being broken down by the 4 types that we had, the 3 fixed costs, and then the resourcing here. And this is the actuals here. So here, all those, I think it's the best way to understand is just to play with those and try and get an understanding. Here it's the same. It's just the difference is it's weekly. It's not cumulative. It's not the running. So you can see more on the week by week basis, and that's the actuals that you had allocated as well. And then you go through each budget type here. So we go here. So the hardware budget, the actuals is a deeper value here. So you can see that right from the start, you had your actuals were more expensive. It's a bit of a disaster project. Marketing, on the other hand, you had a huge budget. They didn't use it much. So here I just stopped the chart when the budget allocation stopped. It was not easy, but I've done it. So, and here the same. So here, what's going on here? The actuals keep running when the budget should have stopped there. And then the resourcing. So the resourcing, you were ahead. Obviously, nobody was working. And after everybody started to work like crazy, or rentals, and after everybody stopped, and after it peaked again. So with all this, you should be able to give a pretty good picture. You would say, for instance, the hardware cost was a bit higher than expected, but we're trying to make up on the budget with the marketing. And now actually, now that I removed some actuals, you can see you're ahead here. Or, if you need to prepare a change request to ask for more money here, and here you can say, for this part here, the actuals are going out of control. But for the resourcing, that's a good news. Looks like we are staying on top of things. Okay, so the other tabs, I think I've walked you through them already. The resourcing cost here, and then the detailed variance that we have seen. So this is it. So this is, I suppose here you have the overall situation. And then if you go down the totals here to have a better view, and after you go into the detailed variance. Okay, so I hope this was clear enough. If not, please let me know in comments, and I'm happy to provide more information or give you tips on how to split this. For instance, I found that very useful to have those big buckets here, and separating the fixed cost and the time and material. Here I could have put resourcing / time and material, because it's something that you will have at some stage to demonstrate and to explain that those are two different things. And usually this is the fixed cost, something that you keep on top of, and there are some increases in the cost of things. Thank you, Ben. But times the material, this is usually where you win or lose a project. Anyway, so I hope that was enough. And I can, actually, there is another budget, project budget template that is a bit simpler than this one. I have a couple more, but this one specifically, it's much simpler. So if you want to have a look, there's a link in the description.